for his role as CEO in establishing KiwiBank and subsequently leading the company through its transition from a startup to an established business with over 700,000 customers, more than 1,000 employees, and over $20 billion under management. Sam Knowles is here. Round of applause for Sam.
I could see someone looked at my LinkedIn profile.
Wow.
I'm a Wellingtonian and I've got a great passion for Wellington. I've spent most of my life here. I was brought up in Kandala, the poor side of Kandala. Went to Onslow College and then on to Victoria for a while. Local is what Wellington's really about. It's one of it's really the defining feature in a sense, because it's a really easy place to live and everything's really handy. And it's got a local character to it, more perhaps than any other city in New Zealand. So I think, embracing local, we don't really have to embrace it. And in some ways, it's actually about building it so we keep out the global. Because in the end, most of our businesses have global competitors. And to be successful, we've got to be better at things locally. Digital, I've had being really lucky in my career. I just happened to be, I was the marketing distribution manager for National Australia Bank in Australia. At the time, the internet really took off, so I had all the opportunity to waste millions and millions of dollars on new business models and learn about what doesn't work. And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. But thank goodness, and this was 96 to 99, thank goodness, we pretty much know by now most of the things that do work, so the learning curve's not nearly as steep. Because I've also worked with quite a few challenger brands and KiwiBank and network before, also digital. I mean, the reality is that the customers that come to, in mature markets, the customers that come to you are usually the digital customers. I mean, the customers that are moving in a market are the first movers, the people that choose to do things first. So the customers that are moving in the market, more than any group, are the people that have embraced digital. So I know from KiwiBank, very much has to embrace digital and be the leader in digital, or it won't get those customers. So if you've got a challenger business, and a particularly mature market, you don't have any choice but to be the best at digital. More recently, I've had a lot of just had the opportunity to help businesses. Xero's clearly a business that's trying to develop it's a digital business, but it actually doesn't do most of its business digitally. So I'll talk a bit about that. SLI, so these are global leaders. Xero is a global leader in online accounting and developing a really an enterprise small business platform. SLI, it is the global leader in retail search. So basically it helps internet retailers, if you like, come from the back street to the high street, put them on the high street, and then it organises the store so that when you go and you buy more. And it's got, it's largely, it's the market leader globally. It has almost no customers in New Zealand. So the expertise is here in New Zealand. There are leaders in digital in New Zealand. Another one that I work with, Unlimited Realities, they mentioned. We've been building the app platform on which the giveaway is. So this is a platform which allows people to build without skills, to build apps, low-cost apps that can be employed across all the different operating systems. So that's a great company in the digital that's building the infrastructure and hopefully going global with that, and Localist are leading the way in the use of that platform. Another one I work with is a whole business improvement system that's developing a social component of communications for big businesses to help engagement and leadership. So there's a lot going on in New Zealand. I think one of the big issues is we don't really embrace it locally as much as we did. We're exporting a lot of stuff, but we're not using it enough local. So what does love local and digital mean for me? I haven't got the eightfold noble path that John's got. There's three things that is digital for me, and it's at the core of it. It's make it easy, and you heard about that before, from Mickey about make it easy. It's make it better, and it's remember me. And those are the three things that drive great digital strategies. First one, make it easy. Most most local businesses in Wellington are hard to do business with. I can't book my dentist, my doctor, my bike service, my car service, my hair, or any tradesman online. Where I can, such as restaurants and theatres, I usually have to call back them or go early. I certainly can't book my seat in a restaurant or in a theatre. I had a great experience the other day, a real digital experience, and that was booking a driving lesson for my daughter. I could go online, I could choose the driving instructor, I could choose the type of car, I could choose the time, I could choose where they were going to pick my daughter up, I could pay for it. And that's easy. But there's very few firms that actually just do the obvious stuff and making it easy. And what's more, because they made it so easy, it was actually damn cheap. For a driving lesson, it was much less than my dentist or my doctor or any other tradesman. And they were bringing the car to my place and looking after my daughter, and I didn't have to do it. So So to make it better, the power of digital is you can do a lot of things better, and it can be a lot more personal at lower cost. You have more options, and customers can tell you what they want. I think the restaurants is a good example of where I continually get let down in terms of what I can do digitally. Like 2 weeks ago, this was for the Sinlay launch. We had a Chinese delegation in town. We booked one of the high-end restaurants. We didn't actually go there because of the earthquake, but what I would like to do, I would like to go online and design the menu. I'd like to put the two logos of the two organisations, the Chinese one and ours. I would like to put the welcome up there in Chinese. I'd like to design the menu online. I'd like to order the wine, so I didn't have to look at the list when I got there. And I'd like to register my credit card, so I didn't have to embarrass and pay when I went there. But I can't do that. I can remember when I was 10 years old, one of my great experiences was my grandfather took me to St George for a birthday, and they typed up the menu with my name on the top. And I can't do that now. I can't take my loved one and put a love poem on the menu before I arrive and have it there. And it's so easy. I mean, anyone could do that. It's just a printer and a bit of software. There's so many easy things that you can do to make your business better. You're only constrained by your own imagination, and largely you're only constrained by not talking to your customers about their imagination, because it's their imagination that should drive a successful business. I guess the last one, remember me. We all want to be acknowledged in some special way. So the main thing for me is digital is not a sales channel. Digital is an engagement channel. It's not about selling more. It's about competing through engaging your customers and getting them to be loyal. For example, Xero sells very little via the internet. There are very few customers, proportionately, that buy the Xero on the internet. We'd like to have more of them. They nearly all come through accountants and through customer recommendations. But the reason they buy is primarily what they hear about on the internet and the experience they have in using the products. The internet's a critical part of the engagement, and there's a lot of money invested in it. So come back. Remember me is the critical thing you can do in digital that you can't do face-to-face cost-effectively. So make it easy, make it better, remember me. So I just, it all comes in the end, it's about advocacy. And the most powerful brand for any business is advocacy. Someone talking about them and saying, that was a great experience. So just a quick share, to finish off, share a quick marketing trick with you. So always try to give you one thing you can actually use. And the question, I guess, is how do you get all those great reviews? Some businesses have these just amazing collections of reviews, and other businesses will have one review and it'll be bad. And it's often not that they're good or bad business. There's a fairly easy trick to that. The first thing is you've got to get a feedback loop with your customers as to whether they like you or not, they don't like you. So there's got to be some process where they tell you whether they like you, ideally digital. And you take all the ones that like you and you ask them to write a review on you. It's very easy. I mean, it's what Xero, all these companies use. It's just about you select the top 10% of your customers that like you and you ask them to write a review, and then 1 in 10, you say, you really enjoyed the experience, I'd like you to share it with, here's the link, here's what you have to do in the review. These are the kind of things we'd really like to have said about us, and you ask them to do it, and you'd be surprised how many actually do it. Thanks.